Hi, Paul Donovan here, avtechnician.ca, your YouTube channel for tips and tricks for AV technicians. Thank you for watching. Today I want to talk a little bit about in-house AV. This is a phenomenon that happens here in the AV industry, and I want to just touch a little bit about what it means. So, you like this channel? Give me some thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel so you can follow the videos as I create them and post them on the YouTube. Oh, I like to hear comments too, so don't forget to write comments. So, what is an AV in-house technician? What is an in-house AV company or technician? That's the question. There are two kinds of AV services. There's the in-house and there's the outside. An in-house AV, when they get set up with a hotel to be the in-house AV, they have to do a thing called a signing fee. Plus, they have to pay a kickback back to the hotel. So what is the signing fee? Well, in the old days, it used to be the hotel would pay the AV company to have a contract so that they would come in. At that time, the AV company would have to buy gear, have it in site, and they'd have to set up a desk and equipment, and they'd have to get somebody trained to do the work. But the hotels quickly realized this is a way for us to make money, and what ended up happening is AV companies would contract every few years with a hotel and pay thousands of dollars to them. The other thing that happens is kickbacks. When you have clients and you do events in these in-house contracts, you pay to the hotel between 15 and 50% of the rental of the gear. Typically is in the 15 zone. Very few companies give a 50% kickback. That is highly unusual. Now, this, of course, kickback is only on gear rental. It doesn't get, and it has certain exceptions on things like labor cost, delivery setup, and cross-rental fees. First, you're probably going to say, what's a cross-rental? Well, if we don't have the gear that is, or gear or furniture or service available within our company, we have to contract it out with somebody else. This is called cross-rental. We may get a discounted rate from them, but we can't afford to pay the kickback for these stuff. So some classic examples is rigging services, specialized sound services, display or stage furniture, translation services. These are typical types of things that are used in cross-rental. Labor is very rarely included in the kickback aspect of it, mostly because there's little to no markup on labor when you charge the client the hourly rate for your technician. You're paying most of that out to the technician, so there's really no kickback done on payroll or labor. What is included? Well, generally speaking, and it used to be this way, and I know it is with us, we give favorable pricing to the hotel. This means our prices are below our standard price list pricing. But more often than not, and there's one very well-known company in town here, where the rate at the hotel is higher than the market price, and most definitely higher than the company I work at. And of course, a big bonus is the inside AV is they have first crack at the customer. Also, an advantage for the in-house AV is the hotel's event sales department, also referred to as catering and sales or banquets and sales. They do most of the sales work for the events, including the AV needs. So unless the event is quite complicated, they may not even let you know until you get your sheets and you know, oh, I have an event on Wednesday that needs a screen. But if the event is a little more complicated, then you get involved much earlier. So, what is an advantage to being an outside AV company? Well, oftentimes an outside AV company has a client, and this client contacts them directly for their AV needs. You handle all the gear. Of course, that means you got to haul it into the hotel and haul it out again. You get to work directly with the clients, and more often than not, you can give them a bundle price, a discounted price that really upsells the deal with them. We have a few clients who just exclusively use us. Even if we go into our own hotels, they still use us, and we're great. So here's a question that often is asked: can an outside AV company do work in a facility that has in-house AV service? The simple answer is yes. The long answer, it can get messy, and you knew that was coming. There is no reason why you can't go and work in a hotel. I mean, not you work, but your company can't go and provide services in a hotel that has in-house service. We live in a free society, and it's perfectly allowed. But the hotel can not make it simple. Everything from access to the loading dock, the rights to plug into the wall jacks, and many other things. There's oftentimes no place to store your empty cases and so on. What many of you don't realize, that hotels are looking for ways to make more revenue. Their meeting rooms are not, well, they're lost leaders. If you know what that means, is they eventually don't actually make a lot of money off of a meeting room. It's not where they make the big money. They make the big money on the food service and the other services, and from the in-house AV service with the kickback. So of course they really like having an in-house AV because it builds their profit margin and makes the meeting service more profitable. So some of the facilities tried a few years ago, and it's happening less and less nowadays, but tried to charge an outside company an encroachment fee or a user fee. And in fact, we've had clients who do this all the time, and they just told the hotel, no, I'm not paying the encroachment fee. That's not what I'm doing. No. And the hotel didn't have all that choice. They really liked the client. The client was often in their place as much as 20 and 30 times a year. They weren't going to say no to the client and not no to the business. And so they would just say, okay, we'll just waive that encroachment fee. A lot of hotels have gotten rid of it. The only thing they do now is possibly charge if you have to use some kind of product that is available from the hotel, such as a power drop, electrical power drop, the built-in internet. These types of things are things that they still charge a fee for. Hotels will tell clients that they have to use the in-house AV cam. They're not allowed. You're not allowed to bring them in, except for very specific cases. This is a huge lie. We still live in a democratic society where a client can choose who they want to use for their service. One of the types of things that a hotel can be very tight on is something that involves safety and security, and this is the rigging services. This is when you're hanging lights and things from trusses that are attached to the building. In those cases, facilities can be quite wary of you doing your own rigging service, which is fine, because if you think about it, would you want to be responsible for having 2,000 pounds of lighting fall on the customers? No, you don't want that. No, that's not good. How about you? Do you work for a company that has an exclusive contract in a hotel? Interesting idea. Now, speaking to you today and now as a technician, this is different. I'm speaking to you as a technician. What is the benefit for you as a technician if your company does have an in-house contract with a facility? Well, depending on the size, they may require full-time staff to work in the hotel. Wow, this is idea. Now, some facilities will require dedicated full-time staff. Others will want just a priority service, or even just a meet and greet service. Our company has contracts with hotels here in the city. We have three types. The first one is a large hotel, and they have a lot of activity, and so we have one person who works exclusively in that hotel. He is in the hotel Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and he is there doing his thing. There's an advantage to this one for an AV technician. It's a sweet deal because you have a regular paycheck. Oftentimes you even put on payroll with a benefits plan. And you often have a regular schedule, which means you can do things like plan holidays. You can have coverage. You have health benefits from your health benefits plan. All these wonderful things that can happen by having a regular full-time job. Now, in the case of that hotel, we also have evening people who are part-timers, freelancers, and that's a different type. We have a second type of hotel where we don't have somebody who works in the hotel exclusively, but we have a chain of 3 hotels. 2 of the hotels has one staff member who every morning he goes into this facility, sets up the rooms, meets the clients, what do I call the meet and greet service. By 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, he's done for the day and he's gone home. He happens to like that. Now, that's not the best one because it doesn't give you full-time work, but if you're looking for something to keep you going, just a little tidbits here and there, this guy's great. The third type is more where we give priority service. This is where we have a hotel, we may have equipment stored on site, and we give a priority service to the hotel. We may not provide meet and greet, we may not have a person in the hotel, we bring people in as needed. So as we were mentioning, some of the things that a dedicated AV manager would do is, of course, they'd have to attend the weekly meeting, which is the banquets meeting where they meet with the chef of the sales department and the AV manager to discuss the events coming up this week. They'd have to still take care of setting up the equipment for the smaller events. Larger events and equipment will be brought in by the company, and they'll have staff come in. Working hours for this type of a person starts in the morning, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, until 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. A bit of overtime is not unusual. Okay, are you interested in being an in-house AV manager or technician? If you work in a large hotel, you might want to check to see who the in-house AV company is and see if they're looking for somebody to be dedicated to the hotel. There are merits to it, and there's lots of reasons why you don't want it. You certainly would have less of the freelancer independence that we've talked about, but there would be some stability. And if you happen to be a very experienced AV technician and you're looking to wind down from the dull grind of the irregular schedule and so on, it may be that the AV manager might be just the job for you. And working in an in-house means you get to meet this hotel staff and you get to have all the fun, and they really get to know you, and there's lots of perks to it. All right, I've rambled on a little bit too long. How about this? If you like this channel, click subscribe. If you like this video, give me some thumbs up, 1 or 2 or 3 or half dozen, and leave me some comments in the message. I'm Paul Donovan. I'm on avtechnician.ca, the YouTube channel for tips and tricks for AV technicians. Thanks for watching, and keep following along. Bye-bye now.